and Jacob.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast, coming to you live from a sunny, bright El Paso, Texas, on a Saturday instead of Friday afternoon. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be joining in from. And yes, welcome in to the United Spurs of America podcast. With your host, as always, I'm Michael. He's Jacob. There's been a lot of talk today already, folks, post-match, but let's get into it right away. Jacob, how are you feeling, my friend? It's Saturday, 3-3 draw at St. Mary's Park against Southampton. Blew a 3-1 lead in the second half, and my friend, it is not pretty. It is ugly. Antonio Conte is coming for throats now. Post-match presser is out. He said what he has had to say. We'll get into it in a little bit, but my friend, I know you've been spitting, but how are we feeling?
Oh, man. I'm feeling like a duck who's a little wet, who's a little dry, it's a little cold outside. I feel like I want to just, someone let me inside their home and hold me close because I need some warmth. I need a nice blanket to hold me nice. And, man, it just sucks because usually Spurs is that blanket. You know what I mean? And today, unfortunately,
it's a cold blanket, my friend. Today,
no, that blanket's just as wet as I am. They pulled that thing out the lake today because it is not feeling great. But you know what, Antonio Conte, I know it's the hot topic right now because of some things he said that I just first and foremost want to off the top say I agree with him. He's Antonio Conte, and he's calling it like it is. But honestly, there's also a side of me that's like, bro, are you just trying to save your own reputation or what is going on? But we could carry on. Before I do that, let me say thank you. First and foremost to Alan Sibley of the Soggy Undies Club, a patron of the channel. Also the 10-inch club founder himself, Alan Sibley. So big up yourself, Mr. Alan Sibley. Big up as well to the 10-inch club, Mr. Aaron Dubb, Mile High Hotspur, that's Leo Coys, and Queen Ellie with THFC Till I Die, and C. Shearman. C. Shearman's been a long time 10-inch club member. Also want to say thank you to our official supporters, Scott M., James Joris, Jay Coe, David, Jamie, and Jack Kanicki of the Irish Hotspur. Big up yourselves, every single one of you. Can't forget about the Lovers Lane, Michael, Bobby K., Gina Kim, Tom Markkinen, Colin from Talkin' Ball, and C Cubed. Big up every single one of you. First and foremost, if you do want to become a supporter of this channel and say, you know what, fuck you, Tottenham, same for you, Patreon, because Patreon said you can't do any clubs for less than $3. We did a club for $1 because honestly, you can't stop us. So if you want to become a Lover's Lane member, the link is there. If you want to become a Patreon member, I encourage you to do that, and we try to make sure we especially read over your comments as well. That's part of the deal here, since we have yet to get the super chat thing rolling with the YouTube. You know what happened there, Michael? We hit that 1K. Okay, March Madness. I know the IU.
Let's go, baby. Round of 32. Fuck Miami. We're about to beat them.
It's a good thing we aren't monetized yet because we can still say fuck you, whoever, in the first 10 minutes Miami. Of this show. At least for now, at least until April when
Miami U, that is
the U.
Fuck Miami. Let's go Hoosiers, baby. Big win last night over Kent State. Big win.
I see you're trying. Jacob, you're trying to deflect.
I'm just excited. I'm trying to grab onto the positive energy around me. Yeah. The limited positive energy around me as I can, because there's not much of it. It's very scarce right now in the Ramirez household. When it comes to my sports teams, the Mavs are choking away. What they had a great season right
last
now.
Night. Did you not see last night what they did?
I know, but still, in general, they've been choking away. They're the 9th seed now, and then now Tottenham, crashing out of the FA Cup, Champions League, and now this result. I got to latch on to any sort of positive energy I can. So right now, it's the Indiana Hoosiers. Go Hoosiers! But Jesus Christ, man. There's not much to be happy about. Antonio Conte is furious. I'm furious. You're furious.
Do you want to say what's up to the chat?
Yeah, let's go ahead and say what's up. Let's go ahead and say what's up. How are they feeling? How are they feeling right now?
Let's say what's up to the chat comments
there's
rather
a lot.
than Antonio
There's a lot to break
comments.
down.
Yeah. First and foremost, I think number one prize goes to Adrian Schroka today. Big up Adrian Schroka.
First one here.
Says, good evening all. Big up Scott M, official supporter, checking in. Conte in, Levy out, players out. It's a good point. I feel very similar. Conte's not wrong with his comments. Mick, big up Mick. Good evening, Jacob and Michael. Big up Luca. Evening, guys and gals. Our players are selfish. That's what Antonio thinks as well. Big up Coys, big up guys. Thank you for that. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Oh, sorry for that. We were late. Libun saying, hey, how you doing? Says, rubbing my hands. Levy Enoch out. I want oil money out to bankroll us. Or no, you want oil money to bankroll us. Michael, do you want oil money to bankroll us? I wouldn't be upset about it.
If they want to woo me, if they want to throw some cash my way, throw it on my chest area, and I'm just bathing in it, and I accept it at this point. I just want to see success, man. That's all I want. That's all I've ever wanted ever since I became a fan.
Ambition, goals, ethos. I don't think that's too much to ask of.
No, it's not. And we deserve better as fans. We grew accustomed to what was a regular top 4 finish. We should be finishing top 4, but in my opinion, we should be challenging for Premier League titles, and we should have been challenging for Premier League titles with the amount of success and momentum that we had built all those years ago. We've fallen flat, man, time and time again. The win now formula is not winning. It's not successful right now. It's not what our DNA is right now. It needs to be in rebuild mode. And you texted me, burn it all down. We'll get into it in a little bit, but that's all I want. That's all I'm going to say right now.
Burn it all down. Shout out Kuva. He's the first one that told me to burn it all down. And since then, it's been growing on me much like a wildfire grows in the forest, Michael. Big up Mark Cousins. Says, big up Jacob. Has he been sacked yet so you can chuck that figure in the bin? We've still got it. Don't let it trigger anyone's raw emotions about the lad. But we still got the Antonio Conte figurine for now. He is still a part of it. Big up Tom Markkinen. What's up? Another supporter of the pod. So refreshing to hear Conte saying it like it is, not holding back. I hope it leads to change for the good. Michael, I think everyone hoped it. This is the thing. I was hosting a show over there on the Irish Hotspur, and whether you want Conte in, out, it doesn't really matter. Everyone was pretty much saying he's spot on. Whether I thought it was the right thing to do to go public or not, I just
accept it. That's what is success. It's top 4. It's money. It's what brings in the revenue. Champions League football. It doesn't matter how far we go. It would be nice how far we would go because it makes more money. But that's the mentality of the club. It would be nice to make a deep run in the Champions League, but as long as we get there, all right. We have the group stage money secured. We have the TV money secured for Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. All right, we're rolling. Here we go. All right, top 4 finish this season, and hopefully, maybe a deep run in one of the cups, just for some TV money. That's the mentality of this club. That's the mentality of Daniel Levy. That's the mentality of Enoch. That's the mentality of this board, bro. It's been the mentality. It's the what is it? It's obviously mediocrity, but it's the complacency. There you go. It's the acceptance of complacency in the board that has been built up for years, and now Conte is finally unleashing what he's been, seeing and what he's been feeling for a long time. It's now coming out, and I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's the end. We'll see.
It might be. It's starting to smell like it. I mean, this is what he does before he leaves somewhere, right? Real quick, before we keep going, I do want to say big up to everyone in here. We got about 40 people watching right now. That's huge. That's immense. Big shout out to every single one of you. While you're here, I do want to say, do hit the like, hit the subscribe, share this video. Help us beat that algorithm. We don't want to be fighting with them too much, but we do want to win the fight. And with your help, we can win that fight. But while you're here, also do take part in the poll. That is something I pride myself here on United Spurs of America. If I do say so, if the only time I'll ever really big up myself is if 1, I get an Adama Traore prediction correct, or 2, the polls that I do. I encourage everyone to take part in that. There's 40 of y'all watching. We have 30 votes and 26 likes. That, by my math, says 4 hating ass motherfuckers. So either way, take part in that poll, whether you don't like us, whether you love us and you want to support us. The poll's there for your fun, and also to kind of stick my finger in and check the temperature, if you will, of the water. So the question today is thoughts on Conte's comments. So far in the lead, Michael, we have bang on,
Yeah.
hope it leads to changes, which is kind of what I'm feeling as well. 20% say spot on, sadly he's going to be sacked. Another 13% say I don't really give a fuck about him or Spurs anymore, with a little frowny face. And then 7%, seven out of order, be accountable, Conte. We'll get into it. We'll pull up his comments. We'll check the vibe of the chat. But Hotspur here says Poch will be the new manager by Monday morning.
Oof.
Bro, have you shown the world the photo? I want to show the world, but I don't want to be the one to break the... You know Poch. You got his number, right?
Oh,
be texting
that
and
photo?
chatting.
Do you have it?
You sent
You
it
have
to
it
me.
like on it?
I have
On
it. I have it saved.
here?
I have it saved on my phone.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I have it on my phone, but shit, we could say it, or we could show it, I guess. Look, I texted you and I said, at this point, if we're gonna sack him, let's just get De Zerbi. Let's get someone in who's gonna have attacking football, who's going to have successful attacking football. More importantly, Brighton plays so well. There's many managers out there. I can't lie, Pochettino's one of them that I would want back in. You guys, I think, all know. The regulars of the United Spurs of America podcast know how I feel about Pochettino. Does that mean I want him does that mean I want Conte sacked in order to get him? Absolutely not. I want Conte here. I want him to be successful, but he just hasn't gotten the backing. His football just, it hasn't gotten to the players. I don't know if anyone's style of football or anyone's mentality, if you will get to these players, because that was one of the talking points and the main points that Conte made today in his post-match presser was the fact that these players, we've accepted it for years. They've accepted it for years. The fact that it's just top four time and time again. That is the success. And he said it before. That is the quote unquote Premier League for this club, is the top four finish. Talking about the complacency of the board, talking about the complacency of Levy, of Enoch, and to a degree, the players who have been here for a long time, the Eric Dyers, the Ben Davies, everyone who has been here, the Davinson Sanchez. Does it partially include Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, other players like that? Yes, you have to admit it does, because they've been here, they've had their chances before time and time again, and they've been part of the 11 of many teams who have let us down. So yes, partially they are to blame as well. Everyone on that pitch today, all 11 players, and Conte said it in his presser too, all 11 players were selfish today, and all 11 players play for themselves that were on the pitch today. And I couldn't agree more. What about you, Jacob?
Spot on. I mean, does a hammer hit the nail on the head? Well, I guess if you got eyes, then yes, you can hit the nail on the head.
If you got good accuracy like Conte does, then hell yeah, it
That's
does.
the thing, is he came in here and he set the record straight, which I like that. Daniela came in here and said, let's set the facts straight in this stream. Let's set the facts straight. Absolutely. I mean, the thing is...
Until these players leave the club, it's going to be the same thing, dude. Unless the Eric Dyers, the Ben Davies, and then you could even throw in Longley could have won the game for us today on that last minute header too. The players that have come in instead of the players that the managers have wanted in the first place, i.e. Clement Longley, instead of the Skriniar or the Bastoni or the Vardiel that Conte wanted this summer. Min Jae could have came in for Mourinho. Could have came in for under Mourinho, and instead, who did we get? Rodon. Where is he? In France, on loan. Away from this club, along with the other players who we've brought in. Instead of the manager's first choice targets in the transfer windows. Their replacements that the board have suggested instead, or have provided instead, are either underperforming here or are away from this club. Lo Celso, Ndombele, you name it. They're all gone. And unless the next manager comes in and he sees otherwise, that the last, 2-3 managers haven't seen, they're going to be gone. It's not like they're going to be new transfer targets or new transfer acquisitions.
It's tough.
It's just the failure of the board, the failure of the scouting department, of the academy as well. Top to bottom, man. It's not good enough. But it's the same thing that we've been saying, a month ago, 2 months ago? It's just about whether or not something's actually going to change with this board, but it's not.
So you don't think Antonio's saying these comments, you don't think that anything could change from this?
I don't think so. I think the only thing that's going to change is the manager. I don't know if, and that I think that's one of the questions that I was going to say that I was going to ask a little bit later, but we could get into it now if you want. But I was going to ask, if that presser was, I guess, the figurative nail in the coffin for Antonio Conte's tenure at Tottenham, or if the board will continue to just go for the rest of the season until at the end of the season they decide, yep, this isn't working out, and let's just both move on. And both parties are going to be like, yep, all right. I agree.
Yeah.
Let's just forget this never happened for both of our sakes.
But just I don't think the fans are going to forget. 3 managers. Could this be the tipping point then? If this doesn't lead to a change, which big up my Hotspur. If this doesn't lead to a change, Michael, then do you think that maybe this could lead to a change within the fan base? Maybe now the fan base would be a little bit more upset. I'm not condoning, storming Old Trafford. But I'm also not condoning it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hit them where it hurts. Make a statement where they'll see. Stage something. If the nucleus of the fan base and the people at that stadium can be on the same page, whether they're tourists or not, I think that it could be. How many times are we going to have to see? It's not we have a project manager or a manager who's not good enough. We got a couple managers who I would still say are damn good enough. And Jose Mourinho. Poch did fine. He's a fine manager, but you could say, okay, he's not as good as one of these serial guys. Jose Mourinho's a serial winner. We sacked him. People say his tenure here was...
And then he went on to win a trophy with Roma.
The very next season. The very next season. Antonio Conte, I would not be surprised wherever he goes after Tottenham Hotspur, he goes and wins a trophy in the first season. It's just what happens here.
He'll go back to Inter or something next season, and then he's going to win some sort of cup for them if it's not the league.
I just don't know, like, at what point that might actually change something in the fan base or not. I don't know. My only hope, I guess, my optimism would be that something can change, that we can change. I mean, but do you want to talk about what Antonio said, his comments exactly?
Yeah.
Which shout out everyone in the chat, trying to make sure I don't miss out any of y'all. But big up everyone in the chat. Big up Daniela, Step Up Spurs, J. Co in the house. David's in the house. Okay, all the official supporters checking in. I love it when all the official supporters, Lovers Lane, and everyone who's a patron of the channel, when y'all start chiming in here. I love it. It makes me feel like the room is nice and full. At least we're a top 12 team is what Mama Hotspur says. Are we? Are we? I would say we're top 8 at least. Top 8 at least. Once Chelsea starts firing on all cylinders, Liverpool starts firing on all cylinders, like next season I'm talking about, we're going to get left behind in the dust. And that's the problem, which also, big up Danielle, smash the likes up if you haven't already. You want to read that out, or you want me to read that?
Go ahead and read it, man. I want to hear your voice.
The great Alistair Gould, friend of Bobby K and 3 Spurs boys, I might add. Yeah, he's been on their pod, so go subscribe to 3 Spurs boys. I think I saw Ben Kaufman in the chat. Ben, if you want to plug people's channels, feel free to. Also, don't feel obligated to. I know you're on vacation in France. Hope you're enjoying the slopes. So Alistair Gould quotes Conte. I see selfish players that don't want to help each other and don't put their heart. Maybe like don't put their heart out there. Before today, I try and hide the situation and improve the situation with words about tactical and technical. It's one situation. About one thing is desire, the fire. That is too small for me to read. Actually,
that you need to have in your eyes, your heart. You need to have this in every moment. This season compared to last, now we are worse in this aspect. When you are not a team, you cannot improve. Don't forget we played against a Sheffield United team with young players and we dropped out. To understand we play for the badge, we play to make our fans proud of us. You have to have the desire, the fire in your heart. If you have this, you don't have this, you don't go out in the FA Cup. Here we are used to for a long time. The club has the responsibility for the transfer market. The coach has the responsibility. But the players, where are the players? I only see 11 players that play for themselves.
I only see 11
Shambles.
players that play for themselves.
They are used to it here. They don't play for something important.
To it here.
They don't want to play under pressure, under stress. It is easy in this way. Tottenham's story is this for 20 years. There is the owner, but they never want something. Why?
Bro, he roasted the fuck out of us. He just roasted the fuck out of our club, bro. Big up Bobby K. He just roasted
not wrong.
Bro, he roasted us.
And he's not wrong.
Wow. I mean, I
just hate this board. I just hate the owners. I hate everyone that always embarrasses us time and time again. The players. Come on, man. We don't deserve this. Another
the fans
season
definitely don't deserve this.
Humiliation, of embarrassment, of you name it, man. It's another. What did I say last week? Same shit, different season.
Why is that always the case, though? I mean, I really thought when Jose came that was going to be the start of some change, some bright factors coming our way. Then we got Bale on loan, and he put up 16 goals in that little loan he did with us. And I'm thinking things are looking up, and they didn't. They did not look up. They looked very much down, and then face down, and then we turned around, and then we changed that person all completely together. And now I just don't even recognize where we're at anymore. Like, you're texting me during the game saying how bored you are. I hear other channels saying how bored they are of Conte's tactics. And I just wonder, like, this man really did he wear the fan base thin? Or did the fan base wear thin because we're already thin at a patience level because of what we've seen, what we've gone through? I really struggle with the fact that, like, this is all, Conte's fault, and that's how some people really see it. And to me, it doesn't matter if it's Conte, it doesn't matter if it's Jose. Serial winners. Conte's supposed to be Jose Mourinho in his prime of serial winning. So I bought into it. I got a little figurine of it. So I definitely bought into the thought that Conte was going to be the thing that helps change our trajectory or whatever. And sadly, I've been mistaken. I think a lot of fans have been bamboozled, but I don't think it's Antonio Conte who bamboozled me. It's, to me, the club is acting like it's selling this product, right, to me, to millions of people worldwide. Whether you watch it, buy merch, etc., you support you support your club wearing the fucking crest, and you take pride in it. I go to the store and show it off. This is part of my big balls. Like, come at me. And that's just like the feeling it's supposed to give you. But when you walk outside and you start feeling like, man, I got this fucking little micro cock and everyone sees it, bro, you're not gonna feel real good going outside without your pants on. And then to me, you're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to embrace and, like, be happy when you watch. And it's unfortunate that a lot of fans don't feel happiness when we watch. I mean, I feel boredom. I feel apathetic, not very excited or happy. And it's an unfortunate place to be in as a football fan, as a Spurs fan, as a fan of anything, really.
No, it is. It's disappointing, man. It's just, I don't know why I'd expect anything else. You know what I mean? Like, it's the hope that kills you. It really is. It's the hope that something will change, but we know it won't. Conte will be sacked eventually. If it's not tomorrow, if it's not tonight, if it's not next week, if it's not this season, if it's not this summer, if it's not next season, he's going to be sacked. There's going to be a new manager that comes in. It's going to be the same thing every single season. Disappointment. Whether it's top 4 disappointment or whether it's just like Nuno's level disappointment, whatever it may be, but it's gonna be the same thing every year, man. It really is, and that's what kills me, like, deep down. You know what I mean? Because why should I expect anything different? You know, you're muted, by the way.
Oh, I'm muted.
Oh,
that's lovely. I love it when I mute myself because I don't want you to hear things, and then I start talking, hoping you'll hear me. It is the hope that kills you. I do want to talk to you about the players individually, without talking too much. I mean, obviously, we can't get too far away from the whole Antonio Conte and, like, will he, won't he, is he going to shit or get off the pot kind of mentality. But Ron brings up, he thinks it was selfish the selfish part was directed to Kane. 2 to 3 times he had players around him, but he took the wrong option to shoot himself. There was a specific instance in the second half that I do remember. I see that, Michael. There is a specific instance in the second half that I remember. He had 3 runners with him. He had the ball, and he took the shot. And here's what I'm going to say about this, Michael. I know Kane, yeah, you love him. We both love him. He's very much admired here on this channel. If you don't play the ball to your teammate in that instance, at least fucking hit the target. At least make the goalkeeper do something about it. You know what I'm saying? Have as much confidence. He just went and I stand by this, and I threw this out as a theory a few weeks ago when Hugo Lloris has been gone. I said, when Kane wears that armband, does he play like a different player? Because he does. In my amateur eyes, in my opinion, I do think he does play differently when he wears that armband. I think there's something else going on. And to me, he got his goal today, which shout out Kulusevski, because I was about to hate on his ass all night because Kulusevski, who the fuck is that?
He was pretty terrible outside of his assist.
Same thing with Perisic. He had that one hit that went in the back of the net. Outside of that, it was shit. But you know what? I'm not going to hate on them too much because they did contribute to a goal in a way. So it's just, man, I'm getting worked up here, Michael.
It's okay,
I'm getting
man.
worked up here, man.
It's an experience that we encounter every season, sadly. It is what it is.
But see, I thought that my lowest would be after Sheffield, when the FA Cup was no longer a reality. And I'm not saying this is lower in any way, but I just feel like still shittier. Maybe it's just like the compounding weight of the excess. They just keep putting more and more dirt on us when we're already down in the dirt. And at this point, it's just it's more dirt, but do I even know the difference between this and 10 more pounds? No, because I'm already crushed. My bones are breaking right now. And it's just, it's a shame that we come to this point at some point every time. And it's just, Michael, I'm gonna ask you, what did you think about Kane? Did you think he was selfish in that instance or in other instances? Or am I just reading too much into it?
I think he was a little selfish, but I think he was like the majority of the team, just kind of off it for the most part, just kind of going through the motions. It kind of felt like. Obviously, we didn't have a single shot in the first half, correct? I don't think we did, or did we? In the first half,
we did.
Did we score in the first half?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there was a point where we didn't.
Twitter.
Where we just looked like we were walking around and just going through the motions.
Yeah, bro. Pedro Porro, 45th minute. Pedro right Porro. Before halftime.
Yeah, at the death. That's right.
Yeah, it was right before halftime was over. So, of course,
I don't know, man. I was disappointed with his performance. Obviously, he had the header and the goal in the second half. But before that, I think you had texted me and you were like, Harry Kane, I think he did something and you were complaining. But I don't know, man. He had a mixed bag of a performance. Yes, he got on the score sheet, but was he the X factor that had made the difference between if we would have won or if we would have drawn? No, I don't think he would have been. And to be fair, he could have had a chance to be that X factor at the end, and he wasn't there like the rest of the team.
Yeah, but you know what else is disappointing? I mean, it happened so quickly and so weirdly. First, Richarlison within 5 minutes is broken and he has to leave, and then they get 2 injuries and they have to leave, and then we get another injury. So we've both teams using 2 substitutions in 2 separate substitution windows in the first half, leaving us with only 1 substitution window to go.
And we didn't even mention Richarlison coming off within 3 minutes of
that's
the
what
game.
I was talking about. Yeah. How weird is that? First off, that both teams had to make injury substitutions twice in the first half. I thought that was weird, but also, who are we blaming for the Richarlison thing exactly? In warm-ups, it is reported. I did see some videos of him going down in warm-ups. But to me, my first instinct is I think Richarlison wants to be out there. So whether he tweaked it or not, I'm sure he said, I'll give it a go. So I don't really blame the training and the coaching staff too much, because I really feel like at the end of the day, they're going to have to trust the player's word. That would be not malfeasance on their end, but it would be malpractice, or it'd be shitty of them basically if Richarlison was hurt and he's like, actually I'm kind of hurt, and they're like, no, I'll still go out there and play. I highly doubt that that's what happened, but I did see some people saying that like they were blaming the training staff, etc., for putting him out there, that this is a shambles, that we like put him out there. Who do you blame, or do you think it's just Richarlison was probably the one saying? I mean, it's all speculation, really.
I don't really blame anyone. Fair play to him if he thought he was good enough to, play through it for today, and then, look at it after 90 or after 75, maybe 65, however many minutes Conte would have given him. But I'm just more so frustrated with the fact that, again, it's an injury to Richarlison. And every time he plays, obviously he doesn't score, besides the one Champions League game that he's had. It's been disappointing this season, to say the least. He said it. Conte has said it in the pressers before this stream. I'm just frustrated at this point, man. I want to see Richarlison score. I want to see us, go for trophies. I want to see him play and score in the FA Cup or in the Carabao Cup or in the Champions League, like he did that one game against Marseille. I'm just more so frustrated.
But also, it's like he will score, and then VAR. I thought that one was bullshit. They took back. From skipping him.
He has been unlucky, but what was it? Two goals maybe that he's had that didn't end up counting. But like outside of those games, you know what I mean? Like when we pay 60-65 mil for players like this, you expect way more than what he's given so far. Statistically.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just frustrating. It's frustrating, and I get it, man. He may be unlucky. The injuries are unfortunate. The VAR is unfortunate, but dude, come on, man. Like, you've got to give more. We've got to be getting more out of him for sure. It's just frustrating for me.
Big up, C Cube says my two favorite American Spurs boys. Lego, what's up, Cubes? Big up, go Hoosiers. You just told everyone, huh? Go Hoosiers. Anyone in America? Okay, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Big up, Ben. I says I just got home. Who am I promoting? Promote yourself, my friend. Promote the coffee company first and foremost.
Promote whoever you want.
Yeah, and also whoever's a good lad. And you know who I think is good lads. So just put their links in there throughout the show if you can, so people can hopefully go subscribe as well. Forza Conte says C cubed. Conte in all the way. Glad he said the truth. I'm just going to run through some of the comments here, Michael, if you don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of big up QE. Loved your and Jacob's pancake making party stream. You missed it, Michael. We made pancakes live on the coffee company one morning for us.
I'm sorry I missed it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Honestly, I'm hungry now thinking about pancakes. Mahai Hotspur says I'd love for him being Conte to stay. Me too. I would love Conte to stay as well and like help build this. But at the end of the day, cutting the head off of this is not gonna like do anything. We've seen it happen so many different times. Big up, Rich. I also want to say, please do hit that like. I see 40 of you watching. We're at 34 likes, 46 votes. So by my simple math deduction, 12 hating ass motherfuckers watching. If you don't want to be a hating ass motherfucker and you want to like and subscribe, please do hit that like. Share this video as well. Help us get out there. But we did hit 1K last week, so big up for that.
Appreciate all of y'all. Appreciate the support for sure.
Yeah, if you want to promote the beautiful man Bobby K, goes 3 Spurs boys. There it is. Big up Shaquille as well. Shaquille's been going through, been banging along in the chat. Says we can't change as long as we keep changing managers. That's really well said. That actually sounds like a line in some poetry, or like a song or something. That well said, Shaquille. No hunger, no desire, no passion. Says Adrian Shroka. Big up Tom Markin. Says big up all in the chat. Many to come. And Mike and Jacob, the two most dulcet tones of Spurs YouTube. I don't know what that means. Do you know what dulcet means, Michael?
What?
Dulce?
Dulcet tones?
Dulcet? I don't know.
I don't know the definition.
Big up, Jacob. I don't know what that means, but
sweet
big up,
and
Tom.
soothing. So thank you, big up.
Sweet and soothing. Thank you for that, Tom. That's a very kind compliment. It sucks that we have to look it up. We're not well ranged like that. Well, at least myself. Jacob says selfish and talentless. That's most of our players. Man, I mean, unchanged 11. You got to think it could get the job done versus Southampton. Really, did we have any hope after Sheffield, Michael?
I think I had said it last week, but at this point, I'm just going through the motions. And Tottenham play today. All right, I'll get up, I'll watch it. But it's like, what am I cheering for? And it's something that Antonio Conte had said in his presser today. What are we playing for? 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th? It's the same thing that I'm feeling right now too, because that's what we're playing. Other teams behind us and on top of us have games in hand on us. We have 29 games played now, or 28 games played now, bruh.
28 games played, 49 points. It's really not good. It doesn't. That's not good. Also, I'm looking around at 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. They all have 2-3 games in hand on us. So really, by the time this shakes out, we could be looking at top 8 by the time the year. And honestly, crucify me if you want, but it might be what we deserve, honestly. Because I just...
It's not what we deserve. It's the way we play, and it's the way the club operates. We play like a 7th, 8th place team in the Premier League. We play like a team who's fighting for Europa and Conference League contention. We're not playing like a Champions League team. We didn't look like a Champions League team against Milan when we sat back and drew 0-0 at home when we needed to score at least one just to go to extra time. It's embarrassing, man. Get the fuck out of here. I fucking hate this board. I hate the club that the members at the club who are complacent and just accept this mediocrity and just care about top 4 revenue every single season. It's so frustrating, dude.
No, that's the thing is when Conte even called it out that this is our club's aspirations is top 4. If we can get top 4, that's really all that we want. And to me, that it's just not good enough, man.
Liverpool are 7 points behind us with 2 games in hand, and they're playing like they're having one of their worst seasons in recent history. And they're still only 2 points behind us when you think of if they do win their games in hand. That's embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. Newcastle, 2 games in hand. They're only 2 points behind us. They win both of them, we're in 5th already. Embarrassing.
Big up Eel. UIL. Sorry if I'm butchering your name there. Says, if you're going to play Conte ball, you have to win. Otherwise, it's just a double whammy of pain. Michael, I want to ask you about this style of playing. You were texting me during the match saying that you're pretty bored. At least in the first 40 minutes. The first 40 minutes of that match.
Were you? Were you not? Were you not bored?
To me, sometimes I'm like, am I just sleepy or is this
Was anyone
shitty?
else in the chat? Was anyone else genuinely bored in the first 42 minutes of that game?
Yeah,
today?
Before stoppage time, basically. I mean, with the injuries, yeah, I was bored. There was a lot of stopping. And
I was so bored. The football is so boring, man.
But you're not the only one. Like, I'll shout out Sava from Football Heritage TV now. He rebranded Sava Talks Football. But Sava, he's been saying for a long time how bored he is with Conte's style of playing. So you're not far away from other people's opinions, and there's a lot of people who agree with him as well. 4-on-3, and KANE wanted to get another goal. He's selfish. Were we up 3-1 at that point? I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I can't remember now because the day's getting later, and that was actually very, very early in the morning.
The specific minute. Sorry.
You have to be really stupid not to recognize we needed a central mid forward. Yet Levy bought Danjuma and Richie to replace Sonny and KANE. I don't think that's true. The Richie maybe to replace KANE, but the Danjuma, that's a loan. I don't think he's going to be here after this season. We've really not seen a lick of the guy, and that's honestly kind of baffling to me. What do you think Well, you just left, but for me,
No,
Danjuma.
you're good.
Oh, I was going to ask you about Danjuma. What do you think about him not getting any minutes, any time at all? Haven't fucking seen the guy since he scored the no-looker in
Do you
the
see
FA
his?
Cup.
What was it? I think it was an Instagram story or
I
a
saw
Twitter post before the game where he was like, "Match day, I'm ready." Then it's like, bro, I've never seen such a positive person in such a negative situation. I would be so frustrated if I was him, man.
Bro,
Coming
of
here on loan,
course.
hoping for some more minutes, some game time, some Champions League football.
We could have let him go to
nada,
we
not a
could have let
sniff,
him go to
nothing,
Everton. Like as a
nothing.
human, he could have just gone to Everton and gotten to start and show what he's worth. You know what I mean? Show what he could do in the Premier League. And we're just like, we're gonna take you and you just sit over there. Just go sit over there. And to me, that's just not nice. It's not a good way to do business. And I just don't find it. I feel bad for the guy. I did see it was a tweet at probably on Instagram as well, but I did see his tweet. Arnaud Danjuma saying game day, and it was like a photo of him. It was cool. It was like nice. There's people like, making him art or whatever so he can post it on his social. And man, he just doesn't even get to fucking see the field. It's not nice. Seriously, it's the hope that kills you. I actually went into this game thinking we were going to take third in the league. Ha ha. I did too.
That's on you.
I did
That's
too.
on
I did
you.
think, but I mean, I was like, okay. I mean, United will probably win their next game. They've, will have a game in hand on us. How many do they have 2 games in hand on us now. So if we would have won, we would have been what, 1 point ahead of them
1 point ahead, yeah.
with their 2 games in hand. I would put money that they would at least draw one of those. Yeah, that's how I think anyway. But yeah, it is the hope that kills you. Kulu has been on a slump. He's been on a lump on a log, man. What do you think about Kulusevski? What did you think of him today outside of that assist and the chat? I want to know what y'all think about
I think I said it earlier. I thought he was pretty bad outside of that assist that he had to Kane. But yeah, man, it wasn't great. You could say the same about a lot of players, though. You could say the same about Sonny. He had such a beautiful assist to Porro. Outside of that, was pretty poor. Kane, outside of his goal, was pretty poor. Perisic was pretty poor. There were players that had flashes here and there, but ultimately poor. What about you?
Poor. Awful. Not good enough. Uncreative.
I thought Porro was bright. I thought he was probably our brightest player in the 11 out there on the pitch, and he got subbed off.
Kulu. I thought you were asking
No,
about
I
Kulu.
know, I know, but I was just saying, like the one player that I did think that was bright today was Porro.
Absolutely.
And he got subbed off.
That's the part that.
And then when we needed a goal later on in the game, we had Emerson on the right instead of Porro.
Yeah.
So
that's the part to me. 86 minute. What is it? Emerson Royale. Well, I mean, he came out in 86 minute. Papa Matasar 86 minute. We're up 1 goal at that point. We just conceded 9 minutes prior. So I could see it made sense at the time. And I think in hindsight, I'm a little like, why did you take off Porro? If you want to bring on Emerson, that's fine. But I mean, honestly, Perisic.
And then at one point he played Emerson
goal.
and Perisic as inverted wing backs at one point or something like that. Did you remember that?
Yeah.
At one point he played him as inverted wing back. So Emerson was playing at left wing back. And it was like, oh my God. I don't know. I was frustrated with some of Conte's choices today. I can't lie.
I was very frustrated with some of it as well.
I get he wanted to maintain the lead and he wanted to maintain, I guess, what we did have at that point as a win. But subbing off Porro for Emerson, he was our best player today, man, I think, in my opinion.
I just realized how far behind I am on the comments. The comments are rolling in.
Yeah,
big up everybody. Yeah, you popping tonight. People came on to say what's up. So big up everyone if you're in the chat. I do want to humbly remind you, I will never ask you in the poll, did you like this video? Because to me that's stupid and uncreative. I will ask you, my face, I will say please hit that like if you're here. We got 49 votes in the poll. We like to have fun with the poll. I'm not going to ask you if you like this stream or not. I'm going to ask you how you're feeling about something. And today was actually, a little bit more serious. I'm usually more playful. But there was someone else who had messaged me, Michael. a good friend of the channel. He messaged me saying I needed to rant about something. I didn't read his full message, but he basically was said, I know you're live and I got something to say. So without further ado, let's welcome him into the channel. Leo Coys from Mile High Hotspur, my friend.
What's going on, Leo?
What's cracking?
What's up, my homies? How you guys doing?
Good. Your mic sounds a little crackly there. You talk to me?
You good? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, yeah.
I lent it to my son, and that's how I get it back, bro.
Yeah, it's maybe leave the studio and come back in. Maybe sometimes that fixes it. But yeah, your mic sounds kind of messed up. Eel says spot on analogy. What's another 10 pounds of dirt when you're already crushed? I mean, I agree. So that's how far behind I am, because my analogy was like 15 minutes ago. But we are here on about 45 minutes in. Leo's going to come on and rant as soon as he gets that thing sorted out. Big up David Clark. The medical staff informed the coach if there's a problem, and it's down to the coach and the player to decide. So Spurs fans blaming the medical staff for clowns, says David Clark. We are stuck too many deadwood for getting those out on loan. I mean, we can talk about it, but I think we already know. Big up everyone in the chat. Again, hit that like. Adrian Schroka. Conte obviously wants the sack with his post-match comments. You think he's asking for the sack?
I think it was kind of egging him on, like he's not scared of it. I would say, like, he's accepting it at this point. Like, he wouldn't fight it. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of where I'm at with how he's feeling. What about you?
I think he's really just at this point where it's like, look, I can't even hold a 3-1 lead with these players. Whether he tells them to do X, Y, or Z, they're unable to do it, or they refuse to do it. They're not playing for him, or they just simply can't do what he's asking. And to me, that just speaks on the club's level. That just speaks to the shambles that we're in as a club from the top down. I mean, if you look, I always bring up the academy, but if you even look at the academy, it's just not good enough. What we do, who we bring in, it's just not good enough. Everton would sit back under Dyche. Bet you they wouldn't give up a 2-goal lead. Michael, do you remember I texted you after they drew 1-1, and then we just started sitting back and really inviting them into our half? I thought, man, that really pissed me off.
Yeah, no, for sure. What's going on, Leo? How we feeling? How we feeling?
I'm feeling good. Can you hear me better?
No, Michael, is it just me?
No, it's not. Just you.
Is it just okay?
Not just you.
Do you have like a microphone? Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have like a mic? Maybe it's your internet. If it's not your mic, it might be your internet. I don't know, man. Talk to me.
Well, I'm bummed out, bro. Like I put in the comments, and now I'm even more bummed out because I'm having audio issues. But God, man, I'm just being let down left and right by this club, just like everybody else is. And then to top it off, our manager goes out and says the stuff that he says that basically I think he should have said from the rip, not right now. This is something that he should have said a long time ago. He even said, I've been hiding it and I've been trying to mask it by saying other stuff, but trying not to let it be known. But yet you want to say this now? Like, you should have just came off out and said this a long time ago, is how I feel. Maybe stuff could have been done differently in January. Maybe business would have been done differently had he said this shit back in September, back in October, leading up to the transfer window, when it's the same team. It's the same team, it's the same lack of heart. Right? It's the same players. We brought in one player in January and he's not even getting a sniff at a ball. So it's not even like we could blame the January signings because they're not even playing.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you, bro. I hear what you're saying, but it's like it sounded like what Michael was doing with the rapper. It was just like, so like I hear what you're saying. So let me Yeah, at the chat they can't hear you either, Leo. I don't know if it's your mic or your connection. We also got Paul here from Danunda. What's up, Paul?
Oh, Paul.
Yeah, hello, folks. What a day, eh? Same old shit, isn't it?
Not a good day, my friend.
Not a good day.
I did the best thing I could have done. I fell asleep after about 10 minutes of the match, and then
there you go.
So I didn't have all the trauma, but then I wake up this morning and it was like unwrapping one layer of shit after another. First, I see the result, 3-3. Okay, what's going on there? Then I see there's a dodgy penalty at the end of it. Okay, it's some more shit for my pancakes. Thank you very much. And then I start looking at you guys and, you know, the post-fan show you did, Jacob, and what they said during the game. And it turns out, we took our foot off the gas. People are walking around. And then so we got more shit, and then there's a Conte just shaking up a whole can of shit and just spraying it all over the fucking players and the club and everything. I mean,
I equated it to he just basically took a grenade and then just threw it into and was like, you know what? Everyone that gets hit by that grenade is at fault, and Daniel Levy's included in that. So honestly, it's refreshing.
I agree with what he said. I was a bit sort of Conte out, but I want him to stick around there and keep doing that because, you know, sometimes it's happened more than once this season. In fact, it happens in nearly every bloody game. Like even the crappiest five-a-side game I've played in, I've never played in a game where, you know, even if all the players are shit, they still try and want to win the bloody game, you know. And you see Tottenham players. They just, like when Conte was saying they don't have the fire in their eyes or fire in their heart, they don't want to play for the badge. He's spot on, and I don't understand how that situation can arise in a professional football club unless it's sick the whole way through the fucking thing.
Paul, spot on. I'm not trying to run through the comments without acknowledging them. But if you do have a specific question for us, since you can't really do a super chat or nothing, just try to hit a Q. And that way I'll make sure I can star it and we can ask the questions to myself, Michael, the panel, etc. Leo, did your mic get fixed there, my friend?
What do you think, bro? Tell me. I don't know if it is or is it.
No, it's the same. It might be your connection, bro. It might be your Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Right. Yeah.
No, that's cool. I'm gonna sign off.
All right, bro. I'm gonna put your link in the chat.
We appreciate you hopping on, dog.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
All love, brother.
I did. Yeah, or send me a voice note or something, and I'll play it if you want, like a little rant. I'll still give you some airtime, bro. I don't want to like kick you out of here, but yeah, I can't really hear you.
No, you're good. You're good. Just Enoch can leave you out.
Enoch can leave you out. There you go.
Leave you out.
Big old Leo.
And then did you see what bloody Eric Dyer said?
Yeah, tell us, Paul.
Talk to me,
I also
Paul.
wanted to talk about that.
He said, I actually had the quote, but he was saying, we lost the game. We shouldn't have lost it. Southampton lost both their centre backs. We should have made more of the game, as if to say the attackers didn't score enough goals. I mean, Eric, we've got to score 3 fucking goals every game to get a point or win a game because you are so shit in defence and our defence is terrible in general. So to point the finger at the forwards all the time like that guy is, I'm sick of him, man. I just really, more than anything, I want him gone out of the club.
Yeah, he's a problem. Not just on the field, but if he's coming out attacking the forwards, I mean, bro, do your fucking job before you start telling others how to do what they're doing.
He said they lost both their center backs and we should cause them a lot more problems. Yeah. He's also
that's a veiled attack at the forwards. I mean, that's the way I read that. He's just trying to say it's not my fault. You know, I'm in the England squad. I'm the best defender in England. Fucking knob.
No, it's if anyone can point the finger, it's definitely not Eric Dyer because of time and time again how many games we've either lost or drawn because of his dumbass mistakes. Him or Sanchez or Davies or Longley, you name it, man. They're all to blame. They all have the same mentality. They all have the same spineless, gutless performances time and time again that ultimately let us down and ultimately lose us games and cause us to crash out of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and the Champions League, Europa League, the Conference League, all of them, man. All of them. It's the same players time and time again. Until we get rid of them, it's going to be the same result time and time again until they're gone from this club. We're gonna sack Conte either before this season ends or at the end of this season, and then we're gonna move on. We're gonna bring in a new manager, and until he has given new players outside of the core, quote unquote, the core that have been here for the past 6 or 7 years, they're gonna have the same results year in, year out. Mark my words.
Jaco has a great question that, I mean, if we're playing FIFA, it might not be too bad of a shout there, but is it realistic to think that maybe Danjuma could play out there on the left? Now Ben Davies hurt. I don't want to see Perisic. Can Danjuma be worse defensively than Perisic? Maybe. What do y'all think?
Well, I don't know why we bought him. I think it was you. I think I might have heard you or someone say this, that why did we bother getting Danjuma when, sneaking him at the last minute from Everton? He could be playing for Everton now, getting some minutes. And we went out of our way to put a player on the bench. It makes no sense at all to me, at all.
I agree with you. I agree. Why? I mean, if that was the case, if we just needed an ass in a chair, just could have left Brian Hill right there.
Signed me.
Yeah, sign me. Yeah, I'll come over. Yeah, fly me out. I'll do it too.
I'll get paid what? What is it, like $700K a week that these guys are making, or whatever it is? Something ridiculous. I'll be glad to sit there on my ass on the bench.
Yeah,
I'll fucking clapping
Brian
cheer.
Hill made $80,000 a week. Yeah, that's fun to think about, right? Whenever that's like above average salary in America. That's pretty crazy.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah,
sign me up.
I mean, these guys earn more than a few months than I'll ever see in my lifetime, and they can't even fucking try. It's disgusting. Yeah. It really is.
L says Dyer is always on the pitch pointing and yelling at other players. Is he the most overpaid translator in the history of the sport?
Yeah. He's paid to translate Portuguese and Spanish to players that come in.
Yeah.
He knows how to say it's not my fault in 50 languages, apparently.
He knows how to turn to the next guy real easy. I just don't understand. You're not a backup dancer to fucking Britney Spears. You don't need to be twisting, turning, bobbing your head like that. He plays defense very awful. To me, this is a point I want to bring up, and it has to do with the way he plays, and the way a lot of our players play. And that, if you remember, I think it was the second half. It's got to be the second half, Michael. I don't remember. You help me. But there was a Southampton player, went like this. And I believe it was Pierre-Emile Højbjerg that kicked the ball, and it hit him right in his fucking hands, both of them. Because they were up here in his chest like this. He's like, don't hit me. And they hit him. And VAR looked at it and said, no handball. So if that's the case, VAR looks at you getting hit when you react like this, you get hit in the hand. Why the fuck do we still defend with our hands behind our back like we're under arrest? That's my question.
Exactly. There's no need for it. And if you've got a normal stance when you're defending, okay, you might maybe 1 every 10 games, you might well give away a penalty for handball. But in all the other 9 games, you're just going to be a shit defender, and you're going to let way more goals in by putting your hands behind your back, being off balance. And in Eric Dyer's case, not ever putting a tackle in. Never putting a tackle in. I just don't understand how you can be a defender.
Go get him.
Go get
him. Don't watch him.
Limit. If you're putting a slide, it's making the player do something, making him work for the goal. Sure, he might get round you, he might skin you, but if you're just standing there, I don't know, man.
I would say the only time you would need to put your hands behind like your back or anything like that is when you're jumping, because obviously there a lot of time you want to put your hands up while you're jumping, and that's where they usually do call handball in the box. Outside of that, now I agree, Jacob. You just gotta have your hands somewhere within your body. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, think about how are you most mobile, right? When you run arms like this. Okay, well now you're in your box, so you're not full sprinting, so you don't need to be doing this. Keep it tight, keep them in. T-Rex arms. You know Matt Hedges, they called him T-Rex arms, but he was a center back, right? Matt Hedges, he plays center back for a long time, and his arms, he when he ran like this. And you know what? That's just fine by me. He never got called for handball, by the way, because he kept his arms in. And if you keep your arms in, they're not going to penalize you for handball, apparently, because they didn't for them. And VAR looked at it. They confirmed. VAR looked at it, said, no, he was trying to get out of the way. It just hit his arms. But we're still doing this.
Yeah.
Sir, under arrest, fucking A, man. Just get your arms from out behind your back. That drives me insane.
The guy coming at you, he's using his arms normally. He's using it for balance and speed and to change direction. How are you going to do the same if you've got your hands behind your back?
There's a reason when you get arrested, they put your arms behind your back because it's fucking harder to run away from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, it does not make sense to me. First goal they got, Perisic was so high up, as usual, too much gap between him and Longley. So frustrating, says J. Co., official supporter of the pod. Perisic is a problem. I'm glad he finally got a goal, and I'm actually really glad that he didn't celebrate it. He kind of just breathed out, and to me, that was pretty spot on. Paul, what did you think of Perisic's celebration or lack thereof?
Oh, I've only seen a few highlights, so I haven't seen the full game.
He scored, and outside of that one kick of that ball in that one moment, he was fucking awful.
Right.
30 seconds left in the match, and he had the ball on the left. All you had to do, there was 3 people in the box. All you had to do was do either near post, far post, or beyond far post. And what did he do? He sent it to the people behind the goal. And to me, that's just fucking atrocious, bro. You're supposed to be the vet. You're supposed to be the Conte signing. The one that we can for sure nail down was for Conte. And you can't even fucking cross the ball in. And that's supposed to be what he's good at. I don't know.
I mean, we would have lost the game if it wasn't for Forster as well. I mean, I saw the blinding save he made. I mean, that was inhuman how good it was. So, I don't know. I mean,
the penalty was a little lower. He would have saved the penalty too.
Because I didn't see the full game, so was it the case of, like we did our usual, and you just see players walking around? Is that what kind of happened for periods of the game?
I would say we more.
The first half.
Yeah, the first half we more just like nothing. We got the late goal. They got an early goal at the start of the second half, like literally a minute before the fucking. After the whistle of the second half, they equalized, and then at that moment we started really sitting back and just fucking letting them pass it all over, and we were not really pressing, just standing there watching them. And I don't know, is that tactic? Is that fucking the players? I don't really know, but to me, not good enough. The Southampton we're talking about.
Man.
You like what?
Do you think they might be just downing tools? I've seen them players do this before, where they just think, fuck Conte, we ain't even going to bloody try.
But we went up 3-1, Paul. At one point, we were up 3-1. I'll look at the minute. Hang on 1 second. We were up 3-1 in the 74th minute. So there's 26 minutes left, and we're up 2 goals.
Only lasted 3 minutes.
3 minutes later, they got 2-3. And then we did some substitutions 9 minutes after that. We took off Pedro Porro, who in my opinion was our best player on the day. Maybe you could argue, I would honestly say Heung-min Son was my second best favorite. Maybe my man of the match or my second man of the match, Heung-min Son, for that assist. I thought he was dribbling well, passing well, doing everything well. The thing I thought that we weren't doing well as a collective in the front was I felt like everyone's first touch was super heavy today. I don't know what that was. Is it St. Mary's? Where is that? Is that fucking maybe like the altitude or something makes everyone's first? I don't know. It was something was going on there. But they subbed Pedro Porro out, put Emerson. Papa Matasar came on for Kulusevski, so we went to 3 midfielders. And then Papa Matasar in the 90th minute has a high boot trying to clear something in the box, and a Southampton player runs into his foot. Not even. But he made it look like he got ran into by
his foot, like his
and he flung himself like he got shot. And the VAR even looked at it for a long fucking time.
I saw that. I couldn't figure out what the penalty was for. I mean,
I'm guessing a high boot in the box. I don't know. I really don't understand what that was.
So
it was
a soft penalty, but at the same time,
you can't let one VAR call determine the outcome of that match.
Yeah,
it's
the second goal that we conceded. The second goal that we conceded was awful, like awful defending, awful positioning, awful awareness, awful everything. Everything. It was a cross into the box, and no one was there to be found at the back post. Awful.
Goguma.
We do it to ourselves.
Goguma.
Do it to ourselves. Big up, Goguma. How are you doing?
Yeah, big up, Goguma. She says, I hope they are not down tooling. Please no. I hope they're not as well. That's the thing. Is it? I want to ask Paul and Michael this. Feel free to answer, whoever. Could we be seeing that, just turning the switch off because they're like, well, the boss may not be here in another couple months, so like, what does it really matter? Which is kind of the stance a lot of our players take when they're tired of our manager. Oh, training's too hard. Get him out of here. Oh, training's not hard enough now. Get him out of here. Oh, the training's too hard again. Now we need to get him out. It's just, I don't know.
You know, they did it to Poch and they did it to Mourinho. I mean, I remember that 3-0 in Zagreb, which was, I just couldn't understand what was going on the pitch. I really couldn't. It was atrocious. And it looks like they're doing it again. You know, like I said, even the shittiest games I've been in, everyone's trying, and I just don't see it. I see Spurs, they take their foot off the gas, and I think Conte is right. They start playing really selfishly. They don't play like a team. You know, the forwards start trying to all score the wonder goal and not, you know, look 3 feet to their left where there's a free player in fucking in space. You know, they're trying to be the glory person, and our defenders don't defend. I mean, it's. I don't know what the answer is. Like, the only thing I could think of is, and I don't want to go on about Levy out and all that sort of shit, but it seems to be that it's the culture of the club somehow, somewhere, that, you know, we're not a football team. That's not our focus. It's everything else. It's all the pizzazz. It's the social media. It's the events. But when it comes down to, you know, playing football, you know, you're a player in a Tottenham jersey. What does that badge mean anymore? You know, you can always talk about history, but, you know, in the last 30 years we've done fuck all. I can't believe the last time we won the FA Cup I was only 18, and I'm a scraggly old man now. It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm lucky.
I was in high school when Tottenham won their last trophy. So
there you go, man. You know. I mean, I'm just lucky I've still got my ravishing good looks. Otherwise, I'd go spare following this team, you know?
Oh, man. Elle says, I read it was lightly raining and it was slippery, hence the clumsy first touches. Big up, Elle. That's hilarious. It's got to be the rain, man. It's got to be the rain. Michael, let me ask you, buddy. Fraser Forster. I thought he kept us in the game for the most part. Without him, there's quite a few matches I think we lose and we don't tie, or that we don't win, that he also kept us in. What did you think? Did he come up with some good saves?
He was solid.
Decent? Yeah.
No, I thought he was solid. Again, you're definitely not screaming after today's performance that you miss Hugo by any means. It's not. The goalie definitely wasn't the problem today in the goals conceded. One of them was a penalty. The other two were not his fault, in my opinion. Our defense just fucking sucks. That's the bottom line for me, at least. I think Forster's fine. I think he's solid. He's a good backup, and he's putting in decent performances as a stand-in starter. But I think he's solid.
I agree. I think we should extend him or keep him as a backup and bring in someone else. I mean, I just don't.
Better than Galini.
I don't think he's a problem. Yeah, I think he's better than Galini, better than the version of Joe Hart that we got. I just, again, as a goalkeeper, what's that, Paul?
Joe Hart's doing a good job at Celtic at the moment. So, there's another player that comes to Tottenham and for some reason doesn't click or work out. I think Foster's playing better than Hugo by quite a long way at the moment. He started off, I wouldn't even say shaky, but, letting a goal in at the near post when you've got 4 fucking defenders all in a line, the player's just zigzagging around. You can only put so much of that on the keeper. But I think he's looked very, very steady.
Mm-hmm. And with the ball at his feet, too, I think he's been pretty good, too.
Yeah.
Big up Tyson McGill says, hey, Jacob, Tyson has subscribed. I like that Tyson has subscribed. I appreciate that, Tyson. Thank you. We bought bad during our golden years under Poch, says Boonsing Lee. Michael, what do you think? I mean, there was a window where we didn't buy at all under Poch. And then he starts saying, yeah, maybe I'm not a manager. Maybe I'm just a head coach. I kind of, so we talked about our performance. We talked about some of Conte's comments. Before we do in this stream, which will go a little bit longer, I just want to know, where do we go from here? Let's say Conte isn't sacked and he just leaves in the summer. Or let's say we wake up tomorrow and he is sacked. Mike, who's our manager? Who do you want to see? Who's realistic? You texted me, I think it was right after or during.
I said De Zerbi today.
Yeah.
You know me. Look, man, in terms of where do we go from here, I think we just fucking hope for the best for the rest of the season. I don't think Conte is going to be our manager at the start of next season, which sucks to say because, you know me. I'm Conte in until I die, until he's sacked. But I just don't really see another way that we're going to go outside of, separating from Conte at this point. I just don't think that the future for both of us includes each other. I think that we're going to go our separate ways either before the end of this season or at the end of this season. And I think we're going to have another manager by the time that our preseason tour starts for next season. Who that will be, I don't know. I think we should have gone. Now looking at what he's doing over there in France, Paulo Fonseca wouldn't be a bad option, but it's so awkward after Paratici basically told him to fuck off because of his offensive style. And like I said, look what he's doing over there in France, man. I mean, Lille are playing very, very
Fonseca.
good football.
We both didn't even want him.
The Fawns. I'll take attacking football. I bet you he would do well with Udogie and Porro. When I'm thinking of the next manager, I'm thinking of who is going to play well with the current crop of players, has a good style that is attacking football that fits the Tottenham DNA. Like I'm actually thinking of serious candidates that should be considered but won't be by Daniel Levy when he's talking about the Tottenham DNA, attacking style football, bringing back the connection with the fans. I'm thinking of those types of managers, the Fonsecas, the De Zerbis, the Pochettinos, the attacking-minded managers of the world. That's where I'm at. Look, just bring in De Zerbi, bring in a manager who's going to play attacking football, who is going to bring in some youth, develop our players that we already have, and develop young players that we end up signing that are going to come good. For example, Jed Spence, Brian Heel, players like that. A manager who is going to take advantage of the assets that he has rather than freezing him out and just saying my way or the highway. You can say that to a degree, right? You can say that up to a point until it just gets kind of suicidal for the club. And I'm talking about just freezing players out, benching players for no reason, and buying players, the club bringing in players and then you not playing them at all. I'm talking about Danjuma. I'm talking about players like Brian Heel last season.
Jed Spence, we forced him out.
Yeah. Bring in a guy who's going to use the assets that he has at his disposal and who's going to bring in players that are going to fit his style of play that's going to be realistic for the club's budget. Because at this point, you can't bring in a manager who's going to win now and needs a big budget in order to be successful. We've already seen it with Mourinho. We've seen it with Conte. It's not going to be successful here. You got to switch it up. And I know, Jacob, you said burn it all to the ground, but how are you feeling?
Burn it all down. Hotspur says, Mike, Levy is never going to give Conte what he needs. May as well part ways now and let him call the club and Levy out for us. Best gift he can give us now is to, maybe set the fire that burns it all down. I would not mind that. Also, Boonseng Lee says, we're just ranting. We can't remove ENIC. We have to continue to live with it or stop supporting Spurs. For me, the last part is unacceptable, non-negotiable, will never happen. I don't care. The thing is, I support Tottenham. I don't support ENIC. I support the club, but I don't support who owns the club. Until they get a suitable buyer, I understand they've built this business. I'm not, blind to the fact that they've built this multi-billion-dollar company out of the brand that is Tottenham Hotspur and the stadium, and they've done that. So it's just, I want to see him gone. I want to. That's just how I feel. But thank you, Boonson Lee. You've been very hot in the chat. Goguma doesn't want Conte to leave. I don't want Conte to leave. Paul, do you want Conte to leave?
Not now.
Spalletti?
No. I want Conte to stay because he clearly shows he knows what's going on. And I've been flip-flopping. I'm a flip-flop fan, but I do. I change my mind as more information comes to light. If Conte goes. Yeah, of course. I'd love a more attacking manager, and I think if we do a rebuild, I'd love to do it around an attacking manager rather than Conte. But really, it ain't going to happen, is it? We're going to get so top of my manager list would be Ange Postecoglou, but it would probably break my heart seeing him come to Spurs and get dicked around like every other manager has. Because
break his spirit.
But for me, like the unforgivable sin that Levy did, people don't seem to talk about this much anymore, but it was when the European Super League was going to happen. And that for me would have been a bridge too far for me to cross, because we went through a difficult time in the late 80s where the club nearly went into administration. And even that wasn't as bad, because you figure, someone will buy it. Maybe we'll get dot points or drop down to division. The club's still there. I can still support it. But what Levy did was, when he wanted the Super League to happen, it was take Tottenham Hotspur out of every competition that we compete in just to play with his rich mates. And for me, that's not the football club. For about 48 hours, I thought, I've got no club to support anymore. I can't support this. This is shit. But that just goes to show the mentality of the ownership of Tottenham. It's not about football. They just don't understand football. You're on mute, mate.
I'm muted. Yep. I said it's unfortunate, isn't it? Sorry. That's the second time I muted myself there. L's asking a question. Do you think Conte's lost the dressing room? Was listening to another live, and he said that the players are looking at the kind of football. I think it's pure speculation to say, unless the players have come out and said, I'm jealous that Arsenal and Brighton are playing this front forward thinking football. But for me, I would say if he did lose the dressing room, if I was speculating and putting money on the fact that he did, my money would lean on he probably lost the dressing room by not signing an extension and not making his desires known. And I really think, to me, the turning point for me as a Conte fan, where I started really questioning my allegiance, was whenever he started saying, we're not here to win, we're not here to do anything. It was after a loss, of course, and he's like, we're not gonna win, we're not here to win anything, we can't compete, all this shit. And this is before the stuff with Milan and talking about our history. And it's just like, at a certain point, I don't appreciate anybody talking that much shit about the club, let alone someone that's getting a check by my club every week. That's just how I feel. I don't know how you feel about that, Michael.
It's tough to tell, right, when you're not
it's
on the inside. It's all speculation. I don't really know how to answer, man, to be honest.
Well, while you're thinking there, man, I've got a thought.
Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead.
I just don't like this expression, lose the dressing room. I don't care if the players think that Conte is the biggest twat on the planet and they all hate him and they hate his style of football. It's still no excuse to go out there and not play and not try. And You're just ripping off fans. So you don't like the manager. Well, what are the other things you should be playing for? Well, you could be playing for pride, the badge, all your family sacrifices that got you to this privileged bloody position in the first place. Play for the fans that travel and follow you around the country, taking up all their weekends to, for no reward at all. If you're not going to try, don't sell tickets. The manager's lost the dressing room. I don't think is ever valid. That means, okay, so your players dependent on, they put performance in whether they like the manager or not. It doesn't make sense. We could get in the best manager in the world next week, and we know that at some stage, if the players don't like him, they'll just switch off. I don't want players like that in Tottenham. They should be nowhere near the club.
I agree.
I'm just tired of hearing it time and time again. You know what I mean? Like, I get tired of even the speculation of if they've lost the dressing room. It's kind of going back to my point earlier where I was talking about if you're not getting rid of the same core players that have been here for the past 6 or 7 seasons, nothing is really going to change. And it's along the same lines of this point I'm going to make too. It's the same players that are saying, like you were saying earlier, Jacob, oh, the training's too hard, or oh, the training's not tough enough, or I'm jealous of the style of play of this team or that play, or they get to play this style and we don't. I'm just tired of it, man. Go out there and win some fucking games, win some fucking football games, and get some results that you need to. You get paid for it. You know what I mean? Like, instead of complaining, go out there and do something about it and actually win. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I'm just fed up with it. I'm fed up of hearing the same things every season.
Yeah, because even if this is true, what else said that this person said that he heard?
Like, would you rather not win and just play good football? Like, I don't understand. You know that Conte has proven that he's won before at other clubs. Why wouldn't you want to adapt to his ways? You know what I mean? To win trophies.
Yeah, I mean, he's done it. You haven't. You have to abide by the dude at the end of the day.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Big up Shaquille says we can pressure the board though. That was in reply to, I think, Bunsen G saying we just have to live with it. But we can put pressure on the board. We do. I hope that there's something to come from that. Shite tactics, non-existent, says Mark Cousins. Hotspurs, Paul, how about a bit of Aussie until the end of the season? He doesn't care about defense.
Yeah, man. I'd have him back in a flash. Then at least every game we'd score the 5 goals we need to score to get a point in bloody football matches.
It's abysmal. It's abysmal. I don't know what more. I mean, we could really say. We could talk about Conte more. We could talk about this. But, I mean, at the end of the day, for me, my hopes and dreams for this season were shattered the day that we lost to Sheffield United in the FA Cup, because honestly, a top 4 finish is fine and dandy, but if we're not challenging for the title, it doesn't mean that much to me personally to see. I mean, I enjoy the Champions League music. It is better than the music they use for the whoa, whoa. That's fucking lame. God. I don't want to hear that. I don't, but I'd rather hear none of it if we're not even going to be able to compete in the damn competition. We got cakewalked in our group. Easiest group. We fucking barely made it out.
Great
FA
team,
Cup.
Man.
Easiest run. Barely beat fucking some of the teams along the way. That is not. Yeah, exactly. And it's like squeak by off easy comment, and then we lose to a team that, quite frankly, we should be winning. So I mean, it really pisses me off. But again, my hopes for this season died after the loss to Sheffield United. I never had hope that we were going to do anything in the Champions League. So really to make it that far to me was an accomplishment, because we were never going to make it much further than that. But this season, my last question, I guess, will be, if we finish third somehow, is this season a success based on our recent seasons?
Nothing is a success to me at this point in the season. My success was winning the FA Cup. I think everyone knew who has followed along on this podcast and this stream. The FA Cup was the one that I was looking for at the start of the season. It was the one that I thought was the most realistic. It was the one that, looking now and knowing what we know now, was easily the best chance at winning silverware this season, knowing that we were the opponent that we were going to play in the next round, knowing the teams that were left in the competition is hands down the most easiest competition we could have won this season in terms of what we were competing in. It's just so frustrating for me to even watch Tottenham anymore this season. It was frustrating for me to have to get up at 9 a.m. this morning to watch the game. I can't lie. And it's frustrating to see that 3-1 absolute capitulation, or however you want to fucking say it.
Capitulation.
Embarrassment. That's what it was today against
Shambles.
Southampton.
Yeah.
Embarrassing, man.
It is
against
embarrassing.
a team like Southampton.
Bro, we get ridiculed by not just Premier League fans, by fucking worldwide fans. They're like, you lost to who in the FA Cup? You lost to who? And, I mean, even when we were in Conference League and we couldn't even beat fucking Mura. I mean, and then Pacos de Ferreira is trolling us with their damn mascot, making TikTok videos and shit. Bro, it's shambles right now. It's shambles. I think I freaked the chat out by saying if we finish third. Boone says third, someone wake me up. Jake Inthaj, big up Inthaj, says, Jacob, you still hopeful for third, maybe wishing for fourth.
I'm hopeful for fourth. I think we're gonna get fourth. I think we're finishing sixth. I think we're finishing behind Newcastle and Liverpool.
Could finish behind Brighton as well.
Maybe.
What are you smoking? We ain't finishing third, more like seventh. I mean, when I look at the table, it is a little bit scary because we do have 2 and 3 games more. We've played 2 to 3 games more than all the people around us in the table. So by the time, if they were to win, I don't think all of them will win it, but if they're able to get, 4 points out of their next 2 games in hand that they have on us, I mean, we really got to turn things around. Mark Cousins, what are you smoking? Here's the thing, Mark. I'm smoking on that hopium pack, okay? I'm hoping because at least we could say, oh, we finished third. That's nice. That's fun. Like, we squeak by with fourth. Honestly, it's either we squeak by with third or I want to see us like Conference League. And we can go win that, I think. I think we can maybe next year then go win the Conference League. Let's finish in a Conference League spot and let's go win that thing next year. Because I want a damn trophy, man. I wanted the Conference League Cup. It was supposed to be Jose versus Spurs in the Conference Cup. The fucking green one with the whoa, the one. I'm just saying we could do it. Win FA Cup at all costs. I wanted to fly to the UK for a FA Cup final. Hey, you know what? Maybe I can save up some more money and I'll fly there next season when we win the whoa cup. 8th or 9th is more realistic. That's true. That's why I love your stream. Is it my delusional aspect that you love the stream? We're finishing 4th, guys, says Tyson. Get a grip, please. Okay. I mean, let's see that money invested. I want to see the money, like, I think we can finish there, but the whole, I think it's a myth of the whole Champions League lures certain players. I don't know who we signed that we couldn't have without Champions League. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, you're talking about, Champions League luring players when you're talking about Mbappe, Benzema, players like that. Tottenham, we don't ever buy players like that.
Yeah. Paul Brown says, pass the smoke, Jacob, if you're mentioning third. Paul, I always pass the Dutchie to my left-hand side. Unless it's nighttime. It's right at night. But otherwise, you pass it to the left-hand side. Ben Kaufman doesn't care about finishing 4th. Let a team that wants to push on finish there. That's a great comment. That's kind of how I feel. Michael, do you have any final thoughts for this lovely, optimistic, positive vibe show?
I know, right? For real. Jesus.
I feel like we just fucking drug everyone through the mud with us. You got any final thoughts for me, my friend?
Enoch out and Levy out, my friend. That's the only final
Enoch out and Levy out. Yeah, get him out. Or just, sell the club. Make your money, sell the club. But I don't think they're going to do that because we're making them so much money as it is. But until that changes, I don't think anything at the club will change. Unfortunately, no matter what Conte says, he's just going to be that screaming guy that they beheaded and moved on. And we'll all just have to accept it. And that's the unfortunate part for me. Paul?
Yeah, I mean,
you got any final thoughts?
After Conte's comments, we'll probably hear leaked stories of players moaning about Conte to Levy, and and this is the thing about backing a manager. It's not just the transfer market. It's telling players to piss off back to the dressing room and listen to the manager instead of going, "Oh, really? He's training you too hard, is he?" I don't know. Look, it's hard supporting Spurs at the moment, but we've had hard times in the past. I think this is right up there with the downer vibe, though, isn't it? I mean, the whole thing just looks. It's like watching The Simpsons. They're just totally dysfunctional,
Mm-hmm.
The Simpsons is more entertaining than us, though.
Well, even they love each other, I guess, when it comes down to it, because it's all about family, isn't it? Whereas I don't know, what are we more like? The Manson family? I don't know, man.
Oh, man. Before we end the stream and Michael says our final goodbyes, I'm going to end the poll, which real quick, we got 60 votes in the poll.
Let's hear it.
60 votes in the poll, 44 likes. So that, by my math, is 16 hating motherfuckers in this space. So if you haven't hit the like, please do hit the like. But let's see the results of the poll with 60 votes and only 44 likes. I still don't understand how that can happen, you hating ass motherfuckers. But the winner with more than half, so I would say 32, 33 votes. Bang on. Hope it leads to change. So I think we're all hoping it leads to change.
There you go.
Yeah.
Second place, 30% spot on. Sadly, he's going to be sacked. So that's 85%. That's 85% saying that he's bang on the money. 8%. Is that an 8 or a 6? That's an 8. 8% said out of order, be accountable, Conte. 6% said I don't give a fuck about him or Spurs anymore. So there it is, y'all. The results have come in. Make sure you hit the like, y'all. We got like 15 less likes than the votes, and usually there's only about 6 to 9 hating motherfuckers per show. So clearly that shows the channel is growing, Michael. If we've grown, now we've grown from 9 hating motherfuckers to 16 hating motherfuckers. So
hey, when your haters goes up, it means you're doing something right.
Hey, you can get your hating up, you can get your funny up, but guess what? Get your money up. That doesn't even make sense. That actually doesn't make sense. Get your money up. No, but get your money up. Yeah, come on, Conte, get your money up.
Thank you guys so much for listening to another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast. Make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and also follow us on Facebook over there as well. Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Leo, for joining us today on today's stream. For Jacob, I am Michael. We'll see you same time, same place next week on Friday. And up the lads. And Jacob?
Come on, you Spurs. Coys.
United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.